Guys, how are you? So have you ever wondered, really wondered or really examined what type of love you show up with in relationships? Okay, because if you've ever been in a relationship or if you are in a relationship, okay, how did you show up? How did you show up? Okay, so I remember a conversation that I had with my mom years and years ago. And I think it was like right before I married my late husband. And I was broken up with him and I was dating somebody else. And I remember my mom explaining this right here. How people show up in relationships as a cup of love, right? Literally, I can literally remember my mom saying this, okay? And so you've heard this expression, I'm sure, many times, that people come to you with a cup, offering you their cup of love, right? And it's up to you to decide if you want to take that. Some people just right away they take it. So it could look something like this. Okay? It's like people like come to you with this cup of love right here, okay? And you know, everybody is different, right? Everybody is different with how they show up in relationships and even what they have to offer. Right? It's up to you to examine this cup as good as you can, okay? Like, it is up to you to examine this cup very closely to see if it's what you want. And it takes time, right, to allow the contents of this cup to come out. Because you never know what's in a cup, right? It's like one person could offer you this cup and you might think to yourself, this person is nice. They're offering you their love and you might just right away take it and whatnot. And then somebody else comes by and they offer you another cup. Okay? And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't like this cup because this cup is styrofoam. This one is better, right? This one is firmer. It's plastic or whatever. It's going to last longer. It holds just the right amount. You know, this one is styrofoam, I think is going to break. However, this one is styrofoam, but it does keep the contents cold or hot longer. This one, not so much, right? But still, you might think, well, you know what? I don't like styrofoam. I prefer this cup. And then you might say to yourself, after a while, you know, somebody else comes along and, you know, they come over here with this cup. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. This cup over here is like just my speed. It's bigger, it's stronger, it's tall, okay? It's tall, dark, look at it. Oh, it looks very sturdy. It can hold a whole lot more. Yeah, this one right here, this is my speed right here. Oh yeah, okay? And you might be like, yo, look at this cup I got the best cup in the world. This cup is everything. This person's cup of love is the bomb, the best ever. And I love it, right? And as far as you can tell, you're trying to examine it, but you're like, hey, this one is way better. It is, you know, taller, darker, whatever, right? More handsome, okay? Whatever it is, whatever floats your boat, whatever made you like decide to go ahead and go with this cup over the other one. And then, as you decide to take this person's cup of love, right, that you might think is better, this person who's offering you their cup. Somebody else might come along and offer their cup to him. Look at this one. Just look at that one. You see how cute it is? And then all of a sudden, this cup of love that you thought was way better, all right? It was like, yo, this is my jam right here. Tall, dark, and handsome, everything that I want. And, you know, you were over here like, you know, ready to get down with this bigger cup, the one that you thought you wanted, right? And then he all of a sudden decides to give his cup of love to somebody else. Because this cup of love over here is glass. Look at it. It's glass. Okay? It's glass. And it's full of all kinds of stuff. Actually, I put a bunch of stuff in all of them. But this one over here is arms wide open, ready to go. And it's, look, easier for him. Or her. Doesn't matter. This one right here is arms open and ready to go. And it feels like this right here is a perfect fit. Could be a perfect fit. You never know. Right? But the point is that this cup of love that you held out for, that you thought was perfect, that you wanted, decided last minute or at some point decided to give his cup of love to somebody else. And that sucks, right? That sucks. But the truth of the matter is that no matter what type of cup that you're offering anybody, we really just never know what's inside the cup, right? So here's another example. You might be, you know, a small cup. You might not think you have a lot to offer. So you might be a small cup right here, like this right here. And you're like, I don't give a sip. Okay, that's what this cup says. I don't give a sip. And that's what you're presenting. This might be what you are presenting as your love to anybody who comes knocking on your door. This might be the cup that you want to give, right? Again, what's in this cup could be different things, right? And it's up to each one of us to examine what is in each cup. This cup here that maybe we first had, and maybe you, you know, at first you examined it, but it wasn't what you wanted, right? And so you went over here to this cup, okay? And as you went through time, and you got a chance to see what was in the cup, okay? Because this is what really matters. This part over here, sorry guys, somebody was saying something to me. This cup over here, which you might think is not as valuable because it's plastic, it's shorter, you know, it may not be what you think you wanted or whatever, but when you really examine what's inside the cup, right, if you get a chance to see what's inside the cup, let's see. Okay, so I wrote down a bunch of qualities that people look for, different, you know, everybody looks for different things, right, in relationships, okay, so everybody is different. This one is openness. Isn't that good when people are open? This cup over here is, this cup of love is open. Openness, that might be something you're looking for. This cup of love is kindness. This cup over here has kindness inside of it. This cup over here is very giving. That's what they have, is very, very giving. But you might get some negative, okay, because I did write some negative qualities. Okay, the opposite of opened up or whatever is closed up or no feelings, right? So we have to examine what's inside of the cup to really know if you really want to take this cup, okay? You might think to yourself, oh man, I lost my tall, dark, and handsome to Miss Perfect over here, open, ready for love, Mrs. Giving, or that's what it looks like on the outside, right? Glass, high quality, and he or she might be, okay, we just, You don't really know until you look inside the cup, right? But if you give your relationship some time and you see what type of love is this cup, this person going to give you? What is in their cup? What is on the inside of that person, right? What is on the inside? This one here, and again, I just pulled I wrote a bunch of them down and I mixed them all up and just threw them everywhere. This one here says, bad communication. Bad communication. Okay? You might not want to deal with bad communication. That person might be fine on the outside, but he has bad communication, or she has bad communication skills, right? Calmness or soothing to the soul. Maybe this person does soothe your soul. Maybe this person is calm. Okay, maybe that's something you look for. Attractive or a good aura. Okay, so maybe this is exactly what you want. Maybe this is the type of cup that you want. Maybe they have a good aura. Maybe they have good energy. Like maybe it's not even so much about what is on the outside, but it is on the inside, right? But it's like more of the qualities, which is what we're really discussing now. Like sometimes people have awesome energy, and on the outside they might look maybe something like this, or maybe they are fancy. Maybe they do look fancy. Intelligence. Maybe your person or this person is intelligent. Maybe this person is offering you smarts, good conversation. Okay, maybe they're offering you like, you know, what to say, like a sapiosexual, you know, the people who like to be intellectual and have those long debate style conversations. Okay, maybe you might be over here upset because, you know, you just lost out on your you lost out on your tall, dark, and handsome because tall, dark, and handsome wanted Susie Q. Easy street. Or maybe not. Maybe she's not. Maybe they are a perfect fit. And maybe they do appear to be a perfect fit, but you're upset. And you might be thinking, wow, that was everything I wanted, right? And, you know, next thing you know, Mr. Sturdy comes along. Mr. Responsible comes along. Or what? This cup that this person is offering you appears to look glass, sturdy, sound. When you examine it, it is nice and sound. There's no cracks, right? No cracks. Nice, big, wide open. And it just may be everything you want. At least it might appear to be on the outside, right? And you might think this is your perfect fit. You might think this one here is perfect for me. But again, we have to examine what is on the inside. What are the qualities on the inside? Oh, this one I put a lot. I should have put some of these in the other ones. But anyway, I'm going to go over some of these qualities. Emotional intelligence. Woohoo! We want some of that, right? I'll say that one. Emotional stability. Hallelujah. That might be something you're really looking for. That definitely fits a nice, sturdy cup. This one here loves God. Sorry guys, I'm just watching my surroundings. Okay, so this one here loves God, has a strong moral compass. Okay, that's good. To me, that's hallelujah. I'm liking this cup right here, okay? A strong moral compass and has a relationship with God, has a conscience, okay? Let me see. I don't like these over here. These are some qualities that I wouldn't want. Okay, so let's see. Oh, but there's love and affection. Okay, that's definitely something I want. Love and affection. Okay, so let me put these over here to the side. I know these are, for me personally, I know these are some things that I absolutely love and that I want. Okay, but now let's just say you might think that this cup right here is sturdy and has everything that you want. You're not, or at least you think it's like kind of, about what you're looking for, right? But Mr. Fancy Pants comes along. Woo, look at this one. Glass. Nice and sturdy. Nice and sturdy, but this one is boring. And this one is fancy. This one looks fancy. This one looks more creative, more fun, right? This one looks like, boy, they just got a lot going on. Look at the level, the colors, the craftsmanship on the outside. This one here really does look the best to you. You might be like, you know what? This is better than the styrofoam. This is way better than the plastic. And this one is way better than Mr. Boring Sturdy on the outside. But stable over here, sturdy and stable, emotional intelligence. But this one right here, oh yeah, this your jam right here. Because, you know, this one is fancy. A fancy cup of love, right? He is, you know, has a lot to offer you. Look, he is probably draped in jewelry, gold, diamonds, a fancy car, like the one behind me, a Porsche or something like that. He might have a fancy car that he drives. He might have a fancy house. This one over here, just look at it. It's a fancy car. This one here is a fancy mug. Can you see it? I mean, this one here, boy, this one here is probably everything that you want, right? Because look at it. It just looks the bomb. But let's examine all of these things here that could be inside of this fancy cup that you might be thinking is a fancy cup of love that this person has given you. You might be thinking, this is the best cup of love I've ever drank from. This one right here. And let's see some of the things that are in here, because this one is all mixed up too. I got a bunch of things in here. Okay, smokes and gets high, has addictions. Oh, Lord, have mercy. You might think twice now about your fancy cup that somebody's giving to you, right? If he has addictions, if all he's worried about is waking up every day, smoking and getting high, and that's the highlight of his life, is that's really what he wants, is to smoke and get high. Well, you know, when you're young, that might be okay. When you're young and, you know, maybe, you know, immature a little bit or whatever. But unfortunately, I know men, 40s, 50s, and 60s, okay, that this is about the highlight of their day, of their life. Smoking and getting high. Have addictions of any type. Okay? With addictions, we know what comes with this. Potentially, it could be a lot of other problems, right? Could be a lack of a job, or it could be lack of a worth ethic. Could be, you know, depending on what type of addiction they have and everything, loss of money, you know, to feed the habit, just loss of stability overall, bad decision making, right? With addictions, depending on what type of addiction you're dealing with, also could come, you know, mixed personalities. You never know what you're going to get from day to day, depending on the type of addiction that they have. If they are alcoholic, or, you know, a pillhead, and, you know, you just can't rely on that person, right? Okay? Oh, Lord, people pleaser. So this fancy cup over here is a people pleaser. He or she might be more worried about pleasing his or her parents, mother or father, friends, family, and worried about how he looks or she looks to everybody else. Okay? Because this person here, even though they're fancy on the outside, very attractive, very good looking, maybe has a house and a car, maybe has everything you want, but they're a people pleaser. Which means, in turn, believe me, you will end up having to do and people please along with him, so that you don't have to deal with all his anxiety if you don't people please, right? People pleasing can actually rub off on you and, you know, make your life hard. Fake, okay? Let's see, cares too much about what his friends think. Okay, so that goes along with people pleasing. What his or her friends think. So when a person is fake, right, and they're only like pretending, let's say, I don't say pretending for the gram, but, you know, like they are pretending to have the perfect life, or they want to pretend that everything, you know, they have the best relationship and everything is all good, everything is Gucci, and, you know, they're, you know, couples goals or love goal, whatever, and they're fake, right? Like, okay, like on the outside, again, they look great, a good couple, but on the inside, fake. Okay, they're fake. They're really not what they're presenting themselves to be. right? Which creates a lack of trust, instability, and it's, again, what is considered fake to one person may not be considered fake to another person. But in general, when a person is fake or, not presenting themselves how they truly are, it will absolutely affect your relationship, okay? And your relationship will also be fake. Your relationship will actually be fake. At least a portion of your relationship will be fake. Wearing a mask, that goes along with being fake. Okay, if that cup right here, this beautiful cup, this good cup right here is what they have inside of the cup of love that he or she has to offer you, in this handsome cup right here, or this fine cup right here, and they are really wearing a mask, again, that goes along with fake, and that is also does not build trust. In front of others, he or she is coming off as a good cup of love, provider, maybe good house, good car, good person, this, that, and the other. But he's really wearing a mask. And when you go home and there's nobody else there to fake in front of, that mask comes off, and you might actually be dealing with styrofoam. Okay? You just don't know, right? But that might be included in his cup of love. Sweeps things under the rug. Okay? Maybe this person might not actually want to deal with life in general, or has a problem with, dealing with his issues or her issues, or in general, they don't know how to have, conflict resolution skills. They don't know how to do that. They run from conflicts, and they want to sweep everything under the rug because they don't really know or possess the skills to know how to actually resolve conflicts. Because conflicts do arise, and they are absolutely a part of every relationship. You will have conflict in any and every relationship. It's how you handle conflicts. It's huge. Huge. Some people handle conflicts by literally just sweeping it under the rug. And you'll get nothing accomplished. You'll literally get nothing accomplished. And that leads to being what? Wearing a mask and being fake. Because all you're doing is sweeping things under the rug, right? Unstable. Could be unstable. Maybe they're emotionally unstable. Could be unstable in a lot of different ways, but psychologically unstable. Who knows? Laziness. Oh, Lord. Look. Nobody wants to put up with nobody lazy, okay? I know for one thing for me, I can't deal with laziness. How about super competitive, non-supportive? Like maybe this person is super competitive with you or others, and they're not supportive of your goals, not supportive of whatever you're trying to get done or accomplish in your life, okay? Maybe it's just all about him or her, and does not want to be supportive or encourage you in any way, shape, or form to have your own life, your own sense of freedom or sense of self or creativity or goals, aspirations, or anything, right? But competitive. Or when you do try, they're competitive. They want to compete with you. Okay? Who wants a relationship where your partner is not supportive and does the opposite and wants to compete? Wants to purposely try to make more money than you just to be able to say he or she is better. Nobody wants that. I know I don't want that. Maybe y'all, I don't know, but I know I don't want that, right? That's definitely not something I want. Disrespectful. Okay, well, that goes without saying. I don't think anybody wants to be disrespected. I don't think anybody ever sets out to get in a relationship on purpose with somebody who is going to be disrespectful. No. I mean, maybe they just end up being disrespectful. Maybe they are disrespectful, right? Again, you can't see that on the outside, can you? You cannot see that this person is any of these things from the outside. You have to look inside closely and examine, right? Examine a person. Maybe they're selfish. Maybe they have a nasty attitude. Maybe they have a nasty attitude. Kindness. That would be good, right? If they were kind. That's something I like. Giving, right? I like giving. That is something that I really like. I definitely like giving. Genuine and real. Oh, hallelujah. Yes, this is what I want. Real deal Holyfield. Somebody who is going to be genuine and real. Okay? Oh, here's another negative one. Mean and nasty, cutting words. Okay? That could be something that's in this cup, right? Because that certainly goes along with if this person who might look great on the outside, who might appear to have all the fancy things, the car, the house, you might get yourself your big carat, 3 carat, 4 carat, whatever, 2 carat, whatever, the diamond ring that you want, or whatever it is that you think you want. Maybe you got your trophy, whatever. But if that person on the inside is a narcissist, right? Or they're always, trauma bonding or whatever, you have to take time, right? And hope that they're not wearing a mask, or they're not very good at wearing a mask. Just hope that they're not seasoned narcissists who knows how to present themselves and pretend so well that it takes a long time for the mask to fall off, because that happens. It happens. Eventually, it will fall off. It will fall off, right? But it does take time, but eventually you will see, what is actually inside the cup. Okay? And so, for me personally, I'm going to keep it real. This is my cup right here. Okay? It may not appear so big, but look, this little tiny cup. That's me. I'm going to keep it real right now. This is me right here, okay? This cup is trickery. It's a little trickery, right? Because, it might seem like it's a small cup. Beige or this brownish color, it may or may not be your flavor. This cup may not be dark enough, light enough, it doesn't matter, right? And look, real close. You see that imperfection right there? Imperfection, right? And what I say on the outside? I don't give a sip. Yeah, that's definitely where I'm at this point in my life. I definitely don't care about people pleasing and what other people think, and or getting permission from anybody. Okay, I'm definitely past all of that. I'm definitely at this point. And yet my cup may not look so big on the outside, but I know what's in my cup. And I know how I show up to relationships. I know how I show up. So this could be a little trickery, right? Because you might think you're not getting very much, but let's see. What's on the inside? I pulled my stuff out. I pulled it out. Fun. I know who I am, right? I know who I am behind closed doors, right? Okay. Fun. All right. Let me see. Hold on. Now, I actually did just mix them all up, and I didn't actually look to see. Yeah, this was me. I remember saying that this was me, and I put a few things in here, but I didn't start out that way initially. Okay, so this one I definitely consider to be me. I want more, to give more. I don't know if you can see that, but I want more to be able to give more, right? So for me personally, making more money or doing more or achieving more or having more things, for me personally, is a means for me to be able to give more to help others. For me personally, because otherwise, the more things you have, the more you got to keep up with. The bigger the house you have, the more you got to keep it clean. It's harder to keep, it takes more time to keep it clean, more upkeep and all that kind of stuff. I don't mind having a lot of things. I don't mind having a big house and stuff, but I don't want a big old house to be empty and no love in there, right? I don't want a lot of things just for the purpose of, to not be able to share my space, my time, my resources, my food. Okay, here's another thing, high achiever, right? Okay, for me, being a high achiever or striving to be a high achiever, striving for things goes hand in hand with this, because then that's the more I can give. That's definitely in this cup over here. Let me tell you what else I have in my cup. These are the things that are important to me. I know that these are the types of things I look for. Love and affection. A lot of love and affection. Definitely a lot of love and affection. Definitely love God and have a strong moral compass. That's definitely very much like more of who I'm worried about. I'm not trying to be people pleaser, but I am a God pleaser. Okay? So I'm not over here trying to be a no people pleaser, but I am a God pleaser, or at least I strive to. I strive for that. Okay? Emotional stability. Now, I'm a woman, and just like any woman, yeah, I mean, I definitely have my highs and lows, and I've been through quite a bit, but the things that I've been through, for me personally, that little chip that's on that cup, I've learned from the tough times and the hard times, and I've learned ways to cope and to manage and cope, and I've learned to go within and to rely on my God, Jehovah, when you're going through hard times and ups and downs, so that way your downs are not too low and your ups are not, you're not going through this emotional roller coaster. And that takes time to develop your personality. But emotional stability is important to me. It definitely is in a man as well. I don't want somebody who's going to just run from emotions and not, deal with his emotions, or, emotional intelligence. Yeah. I would consider myself to have emotional intelligence. Let me see what some of the other, let's see what was in Mrs. Easy and Open. Let's see. I forgot what I put in here. Let me see. Oh, Lord, she got a lot of drama. We don't want a lot of drama. No drama. Oh, goodness gracious. Trauma bonding. We're not trying to have any trauma bonding. Mother or father issues. We don't want that. I think I had talked about that one already. Good provider or a good homemaker. So I think that a lot of people want that in a mate. I'm definitely a good homemaker. Openness. I would definitely say that I'm open. And caring. Yep. That's what I put over here, caring. So I would say, for me personally, I definitely, this is how I might appear. I might look like this right here, especially in the beginning. But behind closed doors, I look like this. So you see the trickery? You might start out getting this, but for me personally, once I grow trust, right? I grow trust, and there's stability, and there's emotional stability, and that it's a good fit, right? And there's calmness, and the things that go into creating closeness and stability in a relationship, for a female at least, so that a female can stay in her femininity and not have to take the man's role. But I will if I have to. Because, I have both sides to my personality, okay? If you test me, you try to push me, you try to control me in any way, shape, or form, try to boss me around, or try to push me around in any way, shape, or form, or lie, or become a narcissist, try to trauma bond, or try any kind of masking, faking, any kind of cheating, whatever, all those things. Third parties, fourth parties, secret babies, secret stuff, okay? That's going to bring more of this smaller, you're definitely going to have a smaller cup, and it's going to be, I don't give a shit, and I'm going to be out, gone. But when there is emotional stability that's created, and there's trust, and caring, and affection, and openness, this becomes this. I'm definitely this, right? Okay? But I definitely know how to go back and forth, when there are times you cannot be this, and definitely not to everybody, right? Definitely not to everybody. I know for me personally, if I have to go choose between this and this, it's like this one right here. This one looks fancy. It looks like it's handcrafted. I couldn't find any with gold on it, but this one might have the fancy car, the fancy house, the money. Okay, but he's mean, and he has cutting words, and he's slightly disrespectful, or maybe his personality is just not what I want. Maybe he just can be a little bit condescending, arrogant, and maybe doesn't even allow me to do the things that I want to do, I would take this cup right here and be like, goodbye. Give me Mr. Boring Pants. Give me Mr. Boring. Okay, he might not have a lot on the outside or whatever, but again, if he has stability on the inside, if on the inside of his cup of love that he's offering me, okay, is calm and peace, soul soothing, happiness, you know, just nice, smooth sailing, not a lot of choppy water, it's not too hot, not too cold. That's what I'm like. Give me this right here. I'll take Mr. Stability over here, emotional stability, to Mr. Fancy Pants with big house, big cars, lots of money, and just a steady Eddie. Okay, that's me personally, right? You know, and yeah, I'm gonna look like that. It's gonna look like woohoo.